In looking at our world, you would think that joy would be everywhere. Walk in any bookstore, and you will find books exuding joy. The joy of cooking, the joy of gardening, the joy of not working, the joy of painting, the joy of doing things badly, just to name a few. If you pick up the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, it is so filled with joy, you could only imagine that we believers and Christians are the most joyful beings found in the universe. The prophet Nehemiah says, "The joy of the Lord is our strength." Paul, while in prison, writes these prophetic words, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say, rejoice." And tonight we hear the angels proclaim, "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy." You would think especially on Christmas Eve, joy would permeate every cell of our being, but so often we become like that great 21st century theologian. Clark Griswold. From the famed Christmas Vacation movie, where his world is coming apart at the seams, and there's a portion in the movie that his family has had it. The in-laws and the parents are ready to leave the house, and all the joy along with it. Until he writes these prophetic words, and I will not quote him directly. "Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown, four-alarm Christmas holiday emergency here. We're going to press on, and we're going to have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny Kaye. And when Santa squeezes down that chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of people this side of the nut house." I really practiced that. But allow me a few minutes, if you would, to discover a joy that goes beyond bookstores, that goes beyond Clark Griswold, and found in the powerful affirmation of the great hymn penned by Isaac Watts. We will conclude our worship tonight singing this hymn, "Joy to the World," that I know for myself, I have sang that hymn for over about a half a century in churches on Christmas Eve. Because joy to the world speaks what joy is all about. We will stand and sing, "Joy to the world, the Lord is come." I would imagine that most of us live fairly routine lives. We eat at the same restaurants, we watch the same TV shows, we shop at the same stores, we sit in the same pews. But all that really surprises us most times is tragedy. The natural disaster, the genocide of innocent people, the starvation of infants and children, the overwhelming addiction crisis in America. And it should surprise us. But let me ask this question on this Christmas Eve. What would it take for us to be surprised by joy? The most incredible news is that the Lord is come. Not has come, not will come, not might come, but the Lord is come. So what difference does that make in our lives? Understand this, please. In every other religion, humankind seeks God. They do that through rituals and meditation and nature in the hope to connect with the divine, and it is all worthy. But our faith is different. Christianity is different because we understand that God pursues us. There is a huge difference there, my friends. God pursues us. God is the one searching for the lost sheep. God is the Father welcoming the prodigal son back home. God becomes just like us to be just like us. We then will sing, "Joy to the world, the Savior reigns." Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. And I want us to really think about that. That Jesus was not born merely for the shepherds or the wise men, but for you and me. Could anyone here tonight use any saving? In any way? You know, when most people think of being saved or salvation, they conjure walking down the center aisle at a revival meeting, praying the sinner's prayer. And while that is an awesome beginning, salvation is so much more than that. Salvation frees us from our fears, our fear of death, fear of failure, fear of rejection. It frees us from guilt and our self-centeredness. When in our search, we're so busy seeking happiness while our spirits cry for the essence of holiness. Maybe it's time we all prayed like King David, who shared these words. "Restore to me the joy of my salvation." We then will sing, "Joy to the world, let sins and sorrows grow." In other words, joy to the world, our troubles are limited. They're limited because joy is not a product of our possessions, our pleasures, our busyness, our affluence, or our accomplishments. Joy is knowing that nothing, absolutely nothing, on earth or in heaven, can separate us from the love of Jesus Christ. Joy is a choice that we make. Joy is a hope we embrace. Joy is a presence we encounter. And then we will sing these prophetic words. Joy to the world. He rules the world with truth and grace and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness. In other words, friends, on this Christmas Eve, we learn that truth will prevail. Now, for some, truth is relative. You got yours, I got mine. For some, truth is absolute. A narrow-minded opinion, and let's be clear, not everyone who quotes from the Bible speaks truth. For some, truth is inconvenient, filled with lies and spins and half-truths. But friends, truth matters. And Jesus embraces this notion when he says, "If you continue in my word and are really my disciples, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." if we continue to know nothing definitive about God, let me repeat this. If we continue to know nothing definitive about God, then yes, we are free to be the captain of our own fate and the masters of our own souls. But tonight we learn something definitive about God. That God is love, God is just, God is merciful, and God is revealed to us in the baby Jesus. So in a world that is more often than not surprised by the horrendous, God surprises us with the good news tonight, my friends. And maybe, just maybe, tonight we will repeat the sounding joy.